Hey, 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 it's Kristen Lee, aka Super K and Super Kelly. We're just sitting in the car here waiting for my son to get out of school. Callie had a slight fever, so I just took her out of school. And we were just talking about my hair. What do you think about it, Callie? Does it look a little crazy? Is it crazy hair? I don't care. I don't know if I like it. It's standing up a little too high. But anyways, I want to talk today about being authentically you and not apologizing. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I've gone through a phase in my life that I have dimmed my light to keep other people happy. And it really resonated with me this past weekend. I was talking to a family member who me shining my light affects her in a way that causes me to dim my light. And the way I talk, just how I am, it ends up causing them to make me feel that I should dim my light, quiet my light, stop being who I am, don't say certain things because it makes them uncomfortable. And I realized it's not me that's making them uncomfortable. It's something inside themselves that they're seeing through the mirror of me that they need to work on or need to do some shadow work on, and that what they say to me to try and have me stop shining my light is I can react to it, or I can realize I will only give those words meaning if I choose. So if they're saying, don't say that word, and I'm not saying anything bad, it's just words they don't use, like co-create, manifest, synchronicity. And I realized that I started dimming my light and not being my authentic self around them, where when I'm out to eat with them or visiting with them, I just sit in a conversational space that's just surface. And that's not who I am. I like to go deep into conversations. I like to really dig deep and have deep thought conversations. And I realized I've maybe outgrown the capacity of the vibration that they can handle. And that's okay. However, I allowed it to dim my light and living small and not speaking my truth, which caused me to slowly notice that my happiness level was dwindling when I was around them. And I never want that. So I want to speak about being authentically you, because it's so important that we embrace the weird, the crazy, the everything we are. Hey, great to see you, Limon. It's so important that we embrace who we are. And I remember as a child thinking, I'm different than everyone. And some people look at me funny, and it wasn't in my friend group, and they'd look at me funny, and I'd go, wow, okay, maybe I have to fit the mold of what they're expecting of me. And that tends to happen as we get older. Like if we think outside the box or think differently than someone else, we go, oh, I need to fit in to be accepted. And my biggest thing that I've realized through doing shadow work and really going within to heal the inner child is rejection. And to experience rejection from those that you love the most when you're being your authentic self, because it makes them uncomfortable when you stand in your power, in your truth, in your confidence. That's because they've never been able to do that for themselves. And it makes them uncomfortable seeing you step into that light. And it's a test. It's a test to our ability to be who we authentically are. So I just want to challenge you all to not be scared to be who you are. And I have to say, I am going to start coming out as more of my true self with you guys. I realized that since that happened, hey, Beverly, great to see you. Since I had that situation with that family member, it caused me, they didn't cause me, I allowed it to take my energy and lower my vibration, that I have been scared of rejection from others that I don't know. Because if those that are closest to you reject you of what you're saying or what you're thinking, then it causes you to fear, well, these people know me the most in life. What if people that don't know me, are they going to reject me? And I realized it's not that. And Beverly, she's been a beautiful person that's helped me through this, to realize that you know what? Not every person is like that person in my life, and I should be more open about how I feel and share this. And something I've never shared with anybody really, until recently with Beverly, is about how I have this deep connection to multidimensional beings, to ETs, connecting to other celestial beings. And I've been on a journey the last 3 years of studying galactic civilizations, ancient civilizations, understanding more of what's out there beyond what I know, what I experience. We're not the only beings. We would be foolish to think God only made us. We're the only ones here. There are beings that are in other planets, other dimensions that are available for us to communicate with and to be able to receive loving information when you come from the heart. And again, I'm not saying everybody just go out and try to make contact with ETs. There's protocols that you want to follow for proper, compassionate contact. And I haven't shared this with anybody, guys, so you ready? I'm about to go on a week-long cruise in the Caribbean with Stephen Greer and his CE5 team to have the first contact at sea. Now, who's Stephen Greer? What's CE5 contact? And what is this all about? So, talking about being authentic, I'm going to share all the little secrets that I've been holding and that nobody really knows about. But I am going to go on a cruise. Stephen Greer has been debriefing the last 4 presidents about other beings, ETs you can call them, actually terrestrial beings, aliens, I don't like the word alien, but other beings from other planets that have communication. We can communicate with them telepathically. They can show up to us in person. And it's such a beautiful thing because they want to show us and they want to share with us how to love ourselves back to life. Now, if you're not aware, we are probably about 10 to 20 years. If we don't shape up, we will become extinct ourselves. We will do it to ourselves through war, through violence, through fear. And we have a choice. We can go into our heart and connect back to our heart with ourselves, where the kingdom of God is within. And when you go within, you actually can communicate with other dimensions. And there's a beautiful protocol that Stephen Greer has. He has an app actually called CE5, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, which means that you can call them into your physical presence. You can call them in telepathically. And my conscious cliff notes, those books are not my words. That is information that has come through me from other beings to share the story of compassionate contact, of love. And it all starts with working back on ourselves, getting to know thyself. That is such an important thing. We have to get to know thyself, understand how our body works, where we're not just a human being. We're actually a spiritual being having a human experience. Our soul is not inside our body. Our body is inside our soul, inside our spirit. We have epigenetics. Our cells have little receptors. Our brain, there's receptors that are picking up information. The information's not in our brain. Our brain is a receiver of information. They dissected Einstein's brain, trying to see what makes him different than us. And they go, his brain looks exactly like anybody else's brain. And why was he able to pick up this information? It's because he was receiving information in a way that was different than the normal human being. And the reason why society as a whole is not able to pick up all this information is because we are distracted. We are distracted by phones, the blue light coming from phones, the EMF coming from phones, the EMF towers everywhere. And they actually placed the receivers and internet towers in the shape of the flower of life. Now, if you understand anything about sacred geometry, this flower of life is the pattern of God, God's creative pattern. It's the creation. Everything is created out of this pattern, the Fibonacci sequence. And it's so important to understand that when you do that, this EMF from these EMF towers being in this pattern, it creates this sacred geometry of a dense energy that is affecting our brains and our bodies. And the hertz of radio is actually tuned to 440 hertz. Now, why is hertz important? Hertz is important because it's the frequency, it's like a radio station that our body receives. And our body's harmonious state is at 432 hertz. By moving it up to 440, it causes slight chaos that affects the way our body and minds receive information. And why do they do that? Because they want to prevent us from knowing truly who we are. If you can control the mind and the spirit's vibration, you control the world. So by creating this hertz different, it's changing the way our bodies age, the way we receive information. Otherwise, we would all have communications to the heavens. You know, we would be able to talk to every angel, every ascended master. We'd be able to talk to Jesus. And with what I have found that has worked for me, because I can connect to any spirit you can think of. We all can. And it's by falling into our hearts. Learning how to get into heart and brain coherence, which is the first thing to self-regulate your body back into health, a healthy state, is by having positive thoughts and positive emotions, because the thoughts send out a frequency. The heart has an electromagnetic frequency. When those go out into the quantum field, it shifts everything. Our vibration is so important in co-creating our reality with God. Now, some think God as a man in the sky. Others think God as an infinite intelligence, the source creator of everything. As long as you understand that it's something greater than we know and understand, because, you know, we have all these words for God, but it's the creator of all. And what we are co-creators, because with our thoughts going out into that field, that quantum field, it shifts and manipulates everything to a point where we become a magnet. They say, as within, so without. So what's going on inside your body? Are you thinking of negative thoughts? Are you resentment, pain, shame, guilt, grief? You're going to reflect that, because everything is like a mirror. Everything in our reality is a mirror of something we had thought or felt at some point in time. Now, we can manipulate this quantum field by manipulating and making a choice. We're given a choice to raise our vibration. Now, what does that mean? You're raising the vibration of your cells, your thoughts, your emotions, everything. The chemicals in your body change when you start working on positive thoughts, positive emotions, and breath work is so powerful. Breath work is so powerful to raise your vibration. And Beverly took my Vibe Shift Method workshop, and to see what came out of that for her, it was wild. She co-created her new reality. Well, she shifted out what wasn't any longer serving her. And it ended up opening doors because she stayed in faith. Faith is huge. You have to have faith and believe it is seen even though it's unseen. And that's exactly what she did. And this beautiful manifestation happened where, you know, first having no money coming in, all of a sudden a huge lump sum coming in. And her husband losing one job and then getting another job that is even better, that pays the rent for the year. So what is no longer serving us will fall away. And sometimes we feel that that is affecting us. If she reacted to, oh my gosh, my husband lost his job. What? Oh my gosh, we're going to have no money for this. That's fear. Fear takes away the blessings God has for us. And God only says yes. Yes, yes, yes. But our vibration is what is being picked up by that infinite intelligence, the creator of all, is being picked up. And everything is vibrating at a specific frequency. We feel solid, we look solid, but we're actually vibrating at a specific frequency that is making us feel and look solid. But if you ever seen the double split experiment, where they realize that particles turn into waves and then turn back into particles, and it's only done by observation. So if we observe something as negative and it doesn't serve us, and we're looking at, oh my gosh, and we're sitting on it like, oh my gosh, this is going to happen. Well, most of the time you're creating that reality. Instead, flip it to something positive and feel, knowing, you know what, my prayers are always answered. You ask and you shall receive, but we ask with our words and doubt. Doubt will shut off that flow of abundance. So we have to walk in faith. Faith is so important. If we don't walk in faith that it is going to be the outcome, you have to take inspired action as if your prayers are already answered, rather than sitting around going, I need money. All right, well, if I can ask and receive, I believe I'll get $1 million, so show me. Well, you got to pay attention to what's coming into your mind. Maybe there's an idea for a business, maybe your lottery numbers, who knows, you know, but you will be given signs. And that's why living in the present moment is the most important piece to manifesting anything, because if you're not in the present, you can't get that gift. It's the present, called a present for the reason. You're in the present moment. It's a gift from God, and that blessing will show up, not in, maybe the $1 million shows up in a suitcase in front of you, but maybe you get that idea of inspiration. Then all of a sudden you meet a person who has that job opportunity that helps you work up. It may not happen instantly because it happens in God's timing, perfect timing. It'll be delivered in perfect timing if you hold faith. And Beverly's been beautiful. I've talked to her about this a few years ago. We just got back in contact. And before that, she was trying to manifest money and thinking like, oh my gosh. And she manifested and held faith even up to the last minute when she thought, you know what, I'm not going to have enough. It's not going to be there. And then boom, it was there because she held faith. I watch this over time and time again with people that I work with on manifesting, and they go, OMG, how did that happen? So I really want to start popping into my authentic self again. And I have been a manifester. My body type, if you start studying body types, I'm a manifester generator, which means I know how to generate my heart with so much energy that I can attract to me like a magnet the desires of my heart for the greater good of all. Now, the reason why I feel like I'm going to move forward and start creating a manifestation course, because I've worked with people and seen them manifest things so fast by using the protocols I've used since I was a child. I've always manifested. Everybody said, everything comes up, Kristen. You've got a shooting star up your butt. How do you do this? Well, it was something I never forgot when I came here. Like when I was a child, I just knew. And my mom used to always say, what do you think? The universe revolves around you? And I'm like, kind of. What, is that wrong? And scared it almost out of me. But I truly believe the universe is inside of us. Of course it revolves around me, and it's of my desires in my heart. And the reason why I think manifestation and teaching people the true way to manifest, where it's not just think it, hey, Tiffany, great to see you. Hey, Cato, great to see you. Or I'm calling you Cato. I don't know why, Carolina. It's so great to see you guys. I really feel that manifestation needs to be brought out. And this is what took away my authenticity, because my mom said to me, manifestation's not real. And I'm like, but I've been doing it my whole life, so I don't know how you could say maybe you haven't. But I have. And you can't tell someone that something's not real if they've experienced it. And it shut me down for a long time. For the last 2.5 years, I haven't talked about manifesting and the power that we have in sharing the protocols, other than a small group of people that reach out to me. Oh, thank you. I just got it. My mother-in-law got it for me for my birthday. I absolutely love it. And I just, I need to come out and share this, because if I don't share this with people to help manifest, I just hope that people manifest and realize it's not just to manifest. Oh, I want a $1 billion house. I want all these cars. I want all this money. I want this. I'm hoping that my teaching people how to manifest is going to help them manifest and co-create the world we desire to live in. Peace, love, and unity, and manifest the beautiful things of our world that we can. Bringing together communities, creating healing centers, bringing people together again to realize that we are all one. We are not separate. However, we've been shown through society to manipulate our mind to think that we are separate. But we are all from the Creator. We are all creative beings, and we can all co-create our reality. And when this is truly understood, we don't walk in fear. Fear falls away. And when you stay in that heart space, nobody can steal it from you. And I've realized through everything, because I lost my authenticity until this past weekend again, where I was like, you know what, Mom? I love you to death, but you're not scaring me from living up my true potential anymore. I love you, but I'm not going to be scared anymore. And I don't care who sees these videos. I'm speaking my truth again. And I love her for it, because you know what? I know I had a soul contract with her before I came to this world, asking her to be this greatest challenge, to challenge me to step into my truth and authenticity, and asked her to challenge me to see if I was going to evolve my soul. And so I don't hate her for it for any means. It frustrates me when I get challenged, but then I go, you know what? I asked her to do this, so I'm going to step into my authentic power, and I've decided now I'm going to. And I'm not going to be scared to talk about ETs and aliens and how I can communicate with them. I want to teach people how. Everything I've done my whole life to learn how to connect with extraterrestrial beings, how to get information from them. They're the ones that are guiding my whole life. They've given me the name for my nonprofit, how to grow my nonprofit, the Heart and Soul Project, which is to help open hearts, reignite souls, to unlock humanity's potential. We have been taught to live small and think that we are nothing more than this human being walking around living this existence to deal with the trauma, the pain, shame, guilt, grief. No, we are so much more than that. We're able to heal this trauma through holistic means and be able to rise above and find out what our purpose is. Remember our passions and know, not just believe our superpowers, but know our superpowers. And the superpower is our authenticity and our hearts and our energy. We have many superpowers. And when we get these gifts, we have to share them. But many times we'll find people coming around trying to scare us out of following our true potential, following our purpose, because it doesn't follow the narrative of society. And when it doesn't follow the narrative of society, we start to like hide and go, oh, are people going to judge me? Oh no. Are they looking at me funny? Are they, oh, and I have, my whole life, I've realized that the one thing holding me back is the fear of rejection. And rejection, hey, Thomas, actually, I worked with him today. He's an amazing intuitive channeler. So if anybody is wanting a channeling message to help them get into their highest self, and realize what's blocking them and stopping them, definitely message Thomas. You can, I don't know, Thomas, comment so people can find you. So he did an amazing intuitive reading, channeling reading on me, which is beautiful because my meditation last night was everything he said. So it was just clarification of knowing we are so powerful. Meditation, I used to think was just quieting your mind, shutting it off, no thoughts, no thoughts, no thoughts. But what it really is, I believe, again, I can't speak for everyone because people that do different meditations will say, no, it's this, it's this. I believe meditation is a way to get our brain into that theta, alpha brainwave state, okay? Alpha then theta, if you can go even to gamma and all the way down, great. But at least get it to an alpha state and then a theta state, relaxing the body and opening the heart up. When our heart accentuates that electric magnetic field, oh, Tiffany, such truth, thank you so much. When we extend our heart's electromagnetic field, which we don't even realize, our heart is so much more than just a blood pumping vessel. And if you want to learn more about the heart, go to heartmath.org, HeartMath Institute. I've been working with them a lot. I'm actually working with them on a few research projects. And the power of the heart, when you sit in a heart and brain coherence, thinking beautiful thoughts of appreciation, gratitude, and feeling it in your body, you create this electromagnetic field that goes out into the quantum and is a magnet. So the more we can send this high vibration out, the more we're feeding the field love, appreciation, and gratitude. If you even just start your day with 3 things you're grateful for, even if you're like, my life is horrible, I have no money, I have no job, I have no house, I'm homeless, I have nothing, how can I be grateful? Be grateful you can even speak. Maybe, all right, well, I'm a mute, so I can't speak. Be grateful you can see, because some people don't have eyes to see. Be grateful you have legs to walk. Be grateful you have arms to hold your loved ones. Be grateful for what you've got. And when you have gratitude, it's actually a higher vibration than love. You know, we always thought love, hey, baby, this is my baby girl. Super Kelly. When we hold a higher vibrational state, we attract more of that. And again, some people are like, well, I've been great today and I felt really happy today, but nothing showed up yet tomorrow. Like nothing's here. I was happy yesterday, still nothing here. It takes about 3 days to see things start showing up in your life. And a Bible verse just came to me. On the 3rd day, he rose again. So it's on the 3rd day. The 3rd day, it rose again. The vibration can raise. It takes time in this quantum field to make everything show up as reality. And what keynote is, you won't always see it with your eyes. Yes, exactly. You won't always see it with your eyes. When you have eyes to hear and ears to hear and eyes to see, it doesn't necessarily mean these eyes and these ears. Like when they can actually hear, my hearing comes from within. I can hear, like I don't literally hear it like someone sitting in front of me talking. I hear it as an internal voice that is not this, it's a slightly different tone than my own voice, so I can distinguish it. But the words are so profound that I'm like, that's not me talking. I don't talk like that. And that's when I know I'm connecting to a divine being of some sort to give me guidance. And with my eyes, I see things as pictures and images. I'm being shown differently. It's like, what are you seeing? I can see it's in my mind's eye. And we all have this ability, but what I found has distracted us is our phones. The blue light affects that. It affects our pineal gland, which is the small gland in the center of your brain, that actually can act like a transducer and take us to other dimensions. I used to astral project as a child. This may be gibberish to some of you, but astral projecting is when your soul, your spirit, can leave your body. I used to do it at night while I was falling asleep to bed, and I'd just lay there, and all of a sudden I'd just roll over, and I would pop my spirit out of my body, and I'd look back at myself and see me and then my sister in the other bed when we were kids, and I'd look out the window, and I'd look at the sky, and the sky would be pastel colors, and I would know that I was in another dimension, and then I would start flying. I'd fly out the window, and I'd fly around the neighborhood, and I'd be given messages from different guides, extra beings would give me messages, and then I'd come back to my body when I was ready to wake up, and I could end every dream on my own. I'd create a vision of a portal, and this energy would open up in the ground, and I'd jump through it, and I'd fall like I was in Alice in Wonderland down this black hole. And the first time it was scary, but after that I was like, okay, I'm just gonna end my dream, and as soon as I hit the bottom, I'd wake up. And like, this is stuff I've never shared with anybody, but I'm gonna start hopping into my authenticity, because you know what, as crazy as it sounds, it's gonna resonate maybe with one person that goes, oh, I remember, I used to do that too. Oh my gosh, I'm not alone, I'm not crazy. Or go, wow, there's more to this life that our bodies can do, and I never knew that. And another reason I use blue light glasses, yes, it's so important. I have blue light glasses for our whole family, because even at night, if you watch TV, it affects the melatonin and the way your brain produces chemicals watching it at night, and it stops you from getting that sleep, to fall into that REM sleep. And sleep is the most important thing, because that's when our body regenerates our energy field, and it allows us to bring in the desires of our heart. So I don't want to go too long on this. Happened to me too, but I didn't understand it. Yes. And this makes me emotional. Oh, I'm so glad. Yes. Oh, I love you guys. Thank you for sharing your feedback. And yes, genuine gratitude is key. So I want to leave you a few steps that if you want to try and move yourself into that higher vibration, to get yourself into that authentic self, and not be so scared. Like, I can't believe I'm going live sharing all the stuff I am, but I promised myself today, after that call with Thomas, that I said, you know what, I'm going to step into my authenticity, and I'm going to speak my truth. And you know what? You either love me or hate me, but it's none of my business either way, because I'm living in my truth, and I'm not hiding my light under a bushel. Oh no, I'm going to let it shine. That song came to me this morning after my call with Thomas, and I was like, wow, what does that mean? Wow. Oh wait, my light, I'm like a lighthouse. I'm supposed to be lighting the way for others to feel okay to step into their authentic self. And I'm going to tell you guys, I never in a million years would have, until, 3 years ago, shown up on camera with no makeup on. Like, I have no makeup on. I never would have, because I always felt like, oh my gosh, I look ugly without makeup. I look funny without makeup. No one's gonna, people are gonna make fun of me. Or I have to show up super presentable, super professional. And yes, okay, it's nice to show up looking nice with your hair done, makeup. It gets a little more, and super K obviously grabs more attention. But I today now love myself in my skin, outside my skin, and everything, that if you don't like seeing me without makeup on, then I'm sorry, that's your problem, not mine. And I remember it was a trigger for me, because it was one time a few years ago, I went live and someone goes, oh my gosh, you don't have your makeup on. And they didn't mean that in the way I took it. I took it as, oh my gosh, they think I'm ugly. Because I remember since I was younger, like 15, I wore makeup every day, even when I was going to dance class. Like, I was scared to show up without it. Oh, thank you, Thomas. Thank you for me. That's right, Kristen. Still, I love you. Yes. We all just have to step in our authentic power. And Thomas, again, thank you for your beautiful, intuitive reading today, because it really gave me that confidence to step out as my authentic self, regardless of what people think, because I've been hiding for the last 3 years thinking I'm showing up authentically, but I've been hiding a little piece of myself, that part that I can communicate with spirits, because I was like, oh no, people are going to think like it's weird, and going, oh my gosh, the Bible says don't talk to spirits. Well, I believe it says don't talk to mediums and wizards, because we all are them. So we don't need to go out and seek them, because we all have this gift to speak to spirits. And you know what really blows my mind? When I first started hearing spirits, which when I was a child, I used to hear my grandfather when he passed. And I forgot about that until my grandmother passed away 2 years ago. And the night before her funeral, I heard her talking to me, and I was like, Grandma, oh, where are you? I hear you, but you're not here. I'm going to your funeral tomorrow. What's going on? And then I took mediumship classes to understand how I was doing it. And it's available to all of us, but it's healing wounds inside of us, finding our core beliefs. It's a lot of stuff that we just need to know in everyday life. Understanding your core beliefs, your boundaries, setting those up before you talk to spirits, because yeah, there's ways that you can talk to ones that you don't want to, But if you professionally understand how to talk to them, how to connect with them in a safe manner through the heart is the gateway to everything. And if you have your heart open, where love is, darkness can't be. No negative entity can come in. And so I didn't want to share, oh yes, working on childhood trauma. So that was the first step that helped me open up this gift. I have a modality I do called Cogno Movement. And that changed my life 3 years ago. I took a year off, I went through dark night of the soul, and I said, I've got to find myself again. How do I do this? Oh my gosh, I'm so depressed. My husband's like, take a year off. So that's when I stopped marketing online, stopped my whole Super K biz, everything. I didn't do anything. And I heard, get to know thyself. And I said, all right, well, I have to dig in deep. And Cogno Movement, it renews the mind through neuroplasticity and downregulates the nervous system and removes energetic blocks that are stuck in our nervous system. Now, every trauma we had as a child, this is beautiful, learning all the science behind it, it's stored in our fascia until we get older, and then it goes into our nervous system, because trauma and shock, it would frizzle our nervous system if it took hold as a child. So it gets stored in our body. And then it goes into our nervous system and it's stuck there as energy blocks. So by using this modality, you're able to heal the energy and not have to relive the whole trauma, but just feel the emotion you had, and it leaves your body. It's so beautiful. And that's when you start becoming lighter, freer, and you watch the beauty of life start working out for you. And so there's so many things. So I lost total track and I went so off. But some key tips I want to give, because I don't even know how long this has been. This has been a long live. Is write 3 things you're grateful for every single day. Okay, write 3 things you're grateful for. And then I never realized how much I had until I started working on it. Yes, Tiffany, it's so wild where we go, I'm fine. I don't know what you're talking about. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, I'm digging in. Wow, I don't know where that came from. And using our eyes as positions, because the eyes are connected to the brain, the spinal cord, and the nervous system. And I'd be doing the Cogno Movement, and I'd move my eyes in a certain area, and I'm like, oh, wow, that rejection when I was 4 years old and my neighbors didn't pick me up for a sleepover. Yeah, that was my first time of rejection, feeling rejected when it wasn't that. And you remember these little things that shape you and who you are and why you were programmed or work the way you are. And we can renew our mind to reprogram our mind, like Romans 12:2 says. Do not conform to the patterns of this world. So stop looking at everything on the outside, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that's when you'll test the true and pleasing will of God. And when I started this neuroplasticity and renewing my mind, God was showing up every day in multiple ways, because the signs are there. We're just not present to see them. And we're sitting in our trauma, and our nervous system can't pick up the frequencies. But we literally are soft technology. Every technology that we have today, computers, cell phones, internet, is all off of how the human body works. We can pick up information. We're multi-dimensional beings, and we've never been taught this. And when we discover this, it can either be a shock to us, and we're like, I don't want to believe it, or we can investigate it and do it with discernment. And when I said, you know what, I'm a truth seeker. I want to know the truth. I want to know why I'm here, how I'm here, what I am, like why life happens the way it does. And by digging into neuroscience, epigenetics, quantum physics, metaphysics, and religions, all of them, studying as, well, not all, because there's over 10,000 of them, but all the main ones that we know about, I studied all of them and was like, wow, the answer between all of them, I believe, is love. And when we learn to love, not the romantic way that we've been taught to love, but love as a vibration, a vibrational state. When we get our consciousness to that vibrational state and start feeling it emanating in our body, that's when we can test the true and pleasing will of God, where everything will fall into place. It got to the point where I'd think it and it would show up, and I was like, wow, I may be a little too powerful. I got to be careful not to think of anything negative, because I don't want that following me. But I was like, when I bought my land to build my wellness retreat center, I was like, all right, I need a farmer. I see a farm. And I went and meditated. My husband's like, you need a farmer, girl, because you do not know how to grow anything. And so I closed my eyes, went into meditation, felt it as gratitude now as if it's already happened. I wake up the next morning, go to the gas station before my son's basketball game, and there's a painter, and it said badass painters. And out of my mouth, it wasn't even me speaking, like spirit made it me speak. And I was like, hey, badass painter, do you have a business card? And he's like, interior extra. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't need a business card. I don't need a painter. What am I doing? I was like, interior, I guess. I'm seeing maybe a farmhouse. I'm seeing a farm that I'm supposed to build a farm. So I'm guessing there'll be a farmhouse. So maybe interior? And he was like, a farm? I've been a farmer my whole life. I only started painting because no one needs farmers. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I manifested that. And then I saw plant medicine in a vision, in a meditation. I was like, oh, I was telling my husband, I'm like, babe, I'm seeing plant medicine now. And he's like, are you serious? Like, you don't know anything about this stuff. And I'm like, I know. He's like, you need to find yourself a plant medicine healer. The next day I go to the Publix grocery store and I grab a cart from a guy and start chit-chatting with him just because I'm outgoing and I talk to everybody. And he had pictures on the back of his car, and it had a sticker of a mushroom, and it said, we're all connected. And I just hear that internal voice going, ask him what he does. Ask him what he does. I'm like, I'm not asking him what he does. I'm going to sound crazy. And so I start walking away, and I hear, this is your last chance. So I turn around and said, oh, excuse me, sir. I have the craziest question. What do you do for a living? And he goes, are you a cop or something? And I was like, no. And then, of course, I sound even more crazy. I'm like, your stickers are speaking to me on the back of your car. I'm like, oh my gosh, you must think I'm nuts. And he's like, actually, he goes, it's funny you ask. He goes, I'm a plant medicine healer. I grow psilocybin for Indian tribes all around the United States. I'm like, I was meant to meet you. And so it was just a beautiful, we exchanged numbers for when that part of my healing center is ready. But it's just beautiful how our thoughts can move mountains. Like, what was the coincidence? Yeah, are you a cop? And I was like, I would think someone was a cop. What do you do? And so I'm like, oh my goodness, what's going on? But this was happening constantly. And I would hear a voice come in. And there was another beautiful one where I realized I'm listening to this voice. I was sitting, waiting to pick up my kids from school, and their school was next to a marina. So I sat at the marina and I grabbed a book, and I was just sitting there. It was a beautiful day, windows down. And I'm reading, and all of a sudden I'm sitting there and I hear, take out a $20 bill. And I'm like, what? Why am I going to take out a $20 bill? And I hear, take out a $20 bill. I'm like, all right. And when I tell my sister and brother this, like, I hear a voice and they're like, that's called schizophrenia. I'm like, no, it's not. I hear a voice that tells me beautiful things to do and move forward to get answers to my questions. And so now they understand it. But before they were like, you're nuts. You need to go in a mental home. I almost thought I needed one when I first had my reawakening. I was like, I'm hearing voices. What's going on? But so anyway, so I took the $20 out and I put it in my cup holder and I was like, all right, I don't know why I'm doing this. And then I hear a few seconds later, the next person that makes eye contact with you, give them the money. And I'm like, oh boy, what are we playing? Pick who's getting the money? Like, this is weird. What, I'm just going to go, hey, you made eye contact. Here's $20. I felt so silly, but I said, okay, I'll listen. And so I'm sitting there and I'm reading and I just keep looking up every once in a while. No one's making eye contact. And then I look up and there's this guy and he was homeless and he was walking by. And I looked up, no eye contact. I was like, man, that would have been the perfect guy to give it to. I'm like, all right. And I go back to reading. And then all of a sudden I look up about 5 minutes later and that homeless guy was walking by again and he made eye contact with me. And he goes, oh, I wasn't looking at you. And I was like, all of a sudden I hear like, there he is. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, no, it's okay. Oh, what a beautiful day it is. I hope you're having a great day. And he's like, no, not really. And I'm like, oh, why? And he's like, oh, I had probation today and it didn't go well. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And he had 777 on the back of his shirt. And I said, well, you look pretty lucky to me. And he's just to make him laugh. And then all of a sudden I hear, give him the money. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is weird. All right. I was like, can I give you this? And he was like, oh, I didn't do anything to deserve that. And I said, actually, you know what? Great conversation. I really appreciate your time. I just really want to give it to you. And he's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. So we chit-chatted real quick for a few more minutes. And then he walked off. And he comes back on his little moped. And he comes over and he's got tears going down his face like crazy. And so he comes over and he goes, I just want to say thank you. And then I hear, give him a hug. Give him a hug. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just hugging a stranger out of nowhere. Like, this is so weird. What am I doing? And so as he's like sitting there saying thing, and I was like, can I give you a hug? And he was like, yeah, I guess. So I get out of my car and I give him a hug. And he like pushed away, it was just a quick tap. And I was like, are you in a rush? And I heard, hold him for 20 seconds heart to heart. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know this guy. What am I doing? I look like a crazy lunatic giving this man money that he didn't ask for. And then I'm asking him if he's in a rush and I have to hold him for 20 seconds. So I was like, so I don't know if you know, but if you hug heart to heart, because we're taught to hug right side to their right side. But if we hug heart to heart, what happens is after 20 seconds, our hearts synchronize. I do this every day with my kids, right? Our 20-second hugs. When you hug heart to heart, you end up creating and matching your heartbeats, synchronizing them, and it creates an even bigger electromagnetic field. And so I asked him, do you mind hugging for 20 seconds? And he was like, no, I've never hugged someone that long. I guess not. So I hugged him and I just felt love and saw him whole and complete just the way he was and just sent him my loving energy. And afterwards he goes, ma'am, I don't know if you know who I am. And I said, no, I don't. I'm Kristen. What's your name? And he told me his name, and he said, I don't know any human that would get this close to me. And I was like, why? He goes, because I'm a very dangerous man. People say that I should be on death row. I have killed people. I have murdered people. I have hurt people. And you have the presence of God around you, because I feel nothing but kindness and compassion from you, where if I didn't know you, I probably would hurt you. And I was like, I did not flinch whatsoever. I said, I don't judge a book by their cover. I let them show me who they are. And I don't feel any of that fear around you. And he said, I'm going to tell you something. The reason why I'm crying is because 15 minutes before I had passed you, I was thinking of taking my life, because I am such an evil man. I should be put on death row. I should be dead right now. He said, but I was thinking of taking my life because my probation didn't go right and it wasn't good. And I was honestly thinking of jumping from this bridge and taking my life. And he said he heard, take a walk. And when you come back, if you still feel like doing this, then go for it. And he said, I don't know why I listened to that voice. So I took a walk and I met you on the way. And something about you made me feel that there's hope in humanity and to make me want to be a better person. You giving me that $20, I was thinking, I don't know how I'm going to get my moped back to my boat. He lived on this little dinky boat, no covering on the boat, this little dinky rowboat. And he said, I didn't know how I was going to get back there. And you gave me $20, which was what I needed for gas. And that little act of kindness, and then your hug, something penetrated me on that hug that made me realize I want to be a good person and I want to change. So thank you for that. And it blew my mind that I listened to that internal voice, that voice that was coming through me, to me from another being, God, heaven, Jesus, I don't know, an angel. Something told me to do that. And if I did not listen to that gut instinct, that man could have taken his life. He could have went off and hurt someone else. But because I was present and listened to those little inner voices, I was able to be a blessing to someone who was also a blessing to me, to show me the power of my heart, to be able to make an effect on someone and help save their life. We are all that beautiful blessing. And you, every one of you who are watching this, are so important. So if you feel depressed, down, or not worthy, know that you are so worthy. And we all have this beautiful gift if we hop into our authentic selves. And I've never shared this story either. So I'm really hopping in my authenticity because it sounds nuts and crazy, but I want people to understand the power of our human being, that when we raise our vibration to a place of love and gratitude and truly embrace it, we become the blessings, a walking blessing. And we are all divine beings. We are all fractals of the one creator. So we are all blessings to everyone, and we are all one. And I really want to instill and inspire others to just be that blessing when you can stay in that present moment. Whether you're at the grocery store and you're walking in, you see someone maybe 10, 20 steps away. Stand there and hold the door and then smile. Smile. Oh, I'm so grateful you guys are both on this. Everybody's on this live. Thank you for the words of confirmation that I should have been sharing this. But hold the door, make eye contact. Eye contact is something we've lost touch with. Eyes are the doors to the soul. When you look someone in the eye, they feel seen. And it may just be that eye contact and the smile. The smile creates dopamine and all beautiful chemicals in the body to feel joy, love, happiness. It creates that feeling, and you don't know what other people are going through. So your eyes connecting with theirs and just smiling could be all they need to give them that hope to take that step forward even longer and pass on that positivity. And if each one teaches one, imagine what we can do in this world. We can be the change we want to see. And that's my mission with the Heart and Soul Project, is to help people open their heart, reignite their soul to their authentic self, and truly be that blessing that we are meant to be, and stop living small, because I've done it for too long and I'm not doing it anymore. I'm coming full force out and I'm living my crazy life. I love being this way. I just listen to my heart. Exactly, Thomas. I'm just going to listen to my heart and share from the bottom, the back, the front, the side of my heart, because I hope it resonates with one person to help them through their life feeling a little more seen, understood, not so crazy. Give them the permission to step out and be that crazy, awesome person that they are, or soul that they are, and take it forward and share it with someone else. Because if we hold all these beautiful messages that we have inside of us, it may be meant for someone to hear. So thank you all for watching. I'm so grateful you all were here and being that space holder for me to be open about who I am, what I know, what I experience, and live this amazing, beautiful life. All right, guys, have a beautiful day, and I'll catch you later.